thanks for joining us in the car. This is kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's perfect. And then, yeah, thanks for having me, Langdon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really great. Back to the KubeCon.
Yeah.
You know
yeah.
what? So, and then actually we returned to KubeCon in person in last year, like Los Angeles, but this is pretty much bigger than last year.
It seems
Yeah.
like it. Yeah, I really like. It's like so unpredictable how many people are going to be here. You know,
Yeah.
like how many people are actually going to come.
Yeah,
in.
I was told like more than 7,000 is in person.
Really, 7,000.
Yeah, and then 14,000 is the virtual audience
Right.
we expected, but just along with the registration.
Huh.
Yeah, but
But you never know how many people will actually show up. You know?
yeah, exactly. So yeah, typically maybe 50 or 60%. But you know, so yesterday we co-located event, a lot of stuff, and then we saw a lot of people actually showed up.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, registration.
Yeah.
Because I think the people pretty much comfortable feel.
Yeah, finally, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the protocols they're doing for KubeCon, I think, are pretty good. Like they're doing the kind of the health and wellness check every day.
Yeah, that's super helpful. You know
Yeah.
what? So I've been doing like a business trip a lot of time for the past months, and then most conferences they don't require the all audience to wear face mask. If you want, go for it, but not mandatory thing. However, the CNCF or Linux Foundation, like a KubeCon, they asked all attendees to wear a face mask. It's a really cool thing, and then in the end, not so much like a COVID positive thing at the conference.
Right, right. Because the
yeah.
last thing you want to do as a conference is be a super
Yeah.
spreader event. Right?
Exactly. After the conference, everybody enjoyed the conference, but after the conference, everybody's starting to post like a Twitter hashtag COVID positive.
Yeah.
Sorry for that.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
should be take care of yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did the little conference I do, DevConf US. We were
Exactly.
really on the fence,
Yeah.
but we decided to make them optional because it was the target audience was local,
Yep.
and Boston had pretty good numbers, so we were kind of comfortable doing that, and we got away with it. I'm not sure it was. I still feel like I'm not sure it was the right choice, but it was. It ended up working out okay.
Yeah. That's right. So by the way, this is really cool. I mean, I never ever have some chance to have an interview in
Yeah,
a car.
in the car, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's really awesome. Just like some kind of TV show or
Right,
like some
right.
kind of Netflix documentary.
Right.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
this is
totally.
it.
It's been kind of entertaining. Of course, I just took an incorrect turn, which I'm unsurprised by.
Yeah, no
because we are
worries.
not doing the correct route yet, so we're still trying to get back to like knowing where we are.
Yeah. It should be okay as long as we stick in the Detroit. I'm not going to cross
Yeah,
the
exactly.
board.
I know we got to be careful not to accidentally end up in Canada.
Yeah, exactly.
Because apparently we were talking to some of the locals, and they were telling us that apparently it happens a lot that people get on this like on ramp to Canada, and all of a sudden they're stuck at customs.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, well, that's great. Let's avoid that.
Exactly. I don't even know that because this is my first time be here in Detroit, and
Yeah,
some local
yeah.
folks told me yesterday, "Hey Dan, you know what? So over the river, this is actually Canada. So
Yeah.
be careful. You're not going to go today, and you cannot maybe come back."
Right. I don't know how I managed to do it, but I actually came and forgot. I didn't bring my passport. I totally should have. But
That's the thing.
but I don't have it. So yeah, let's not go to Canada.
Yeah, and then, you know what? So I just want to shout out new CNCF project, one of the Sandbox. We just became like a Konveyor.
Yeah, I was going to talk about Konveyor a little bit.
Yeah.
One of the things I appreciate when they kind of went the Sandbox route too. They've decided to like collapse some of the projects together, so now it's just kind of one big project instead of the individual pieces.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Konveyor is just help people to go on their application modernization journey. So that's why the Konveyor project combines the multiple projects. For example, how to assess your application portfolio architecture, not even the application itself, but also infrastructure layer, and
Right.
also analyze application code itself, and then give some tip and then like a guide how to modernize you and modify your application and configuration itself. And it's not only refactoring, but also it showcases how to transform your whole portfolio architecture from
Right,
platform and then hosting virtual machine and bare metal and into the cloud.
Right. Well, I mean, one of the things I really like appreciate about tools like Konveyor or whatever is it's significantly simpler to kind of have like a starting point. So even if it's not perfect, like giving me something that's not just a blank wall is a great way to start. I think it's. I've been it's funny, I've interviewed various people about Konveyor like a whole bunch of times over the past few years. I think it's been pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the interesting, so the platform engineer is just some kind of buzzword. So everybody's saying a couple years ago as the responsibility and what are you doing for your company? And then most people said, specifically KubeCon, so I'm SRE or Ops engineer or DevOps engineer. And then recently a lot of people call themselves like a platform engineer. So platform engineer most likely try to provide IDP, like an internal developer platform, and also manage their production environment. And one of the big challenges for them, how to optimize their resources to run the business application.
Right.
So that's why the app modernization journey is not only developer issue, but also the platform engineers' interest.
Right.
So I actually managed one of the pre-event KNABCon for serverless stuff yesterday.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of chance to have some conversation with the SREs and their platform engineers, and they're really interested in the application modernization because they have something different approach to app modernization, not focus on application, of course, but they're really focused on how to make optimization my internal developer platform as well as a production environment to run the developer's application.
Right. So, however, like if you're going from like a traditional application and you want to go towards like a serverless application, that's still going to require a fair amount of re-architecture for the app, right? I mean, I think Konveyor is really kind of trying to bring the same application kind of to the cloud rather than considering a re-architecture as much, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then also it depends on the what you are looking for. So that is true. So Konveyor inspire any people, ops people and developer, even any enterprise companies, how to get restart. And then it's not just big bang stuff. So there are showcase the multiple steps, like a long-term plan. And then first thing you're gonna start with this one, and then also you can have some plan for the next 6 months for the app modernization, not only re-architecture, but also maybe small change in application, like a strangler pattern. You can keep make your app production environment stable. However, you can keep evolving your the architecture or platform that's like that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that's the both kind of the problem, right, with serverless, right, is like it really does mean you've got to design your application around kind of an event-driven architecture, which is really nice once you have it, right? But the kind of getting from a traditional application to that level is sometimes challenging. But I like one of the nice things about using something like Konveyor or whatever and kind of getting it into the cloud or whatever is then you can do that re-architecture potentially in pieces. So you can kind of say, okay, let's just pull this one feature out, move it to more of a serverless architecture, and then, but you still have all the rest of it kind of already running in the same like Kubernetes cluster or whatever, so they can, communicate and all that jazz. So I think it really does bring a lot to the table to be able to run it as, in a containerized way, even if it isn't kind of architected correctly for a true containerized platform.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of cloud and a containerized platform, so you have multiple choices to what kind of container platform you're going to use, like the Amazon Kubernetes service, like AKS or EKS or the Google Cloud platform. And the things I think it's a lot of challenge for them because a lot of companies actually move forward to multi-cloud or hybrid cloud strategies. and then which means that we're not going to go to only Amazon. So, but still, you're going to still use the Kubernetes as a container platform.
Right.
So how to migrate from here and there, and then with some minimum effort and but maximum outcome.
Yeah.
So Konveyor project actually showcased the way, just like that, for the multiple Kubernetes migration stuff as well.
Yeah, I'm surprised nobody's come up with like a buzzword yet of like cloud locked or something.
Yeah.
You know, like,
but
because you know it really is like the feature set often, right? When you kind of go to a a particular one of these platforms, they're not bad. Like, I mean, they're definitely adding good features, but it really does lock you in if you're not really careful. And if you're new to, kind of Kubernetes or new to working in the cloud in general, it can be really easy to fall into that trap that now you're totally locked to one provider. And so I think kind of having a little bit of an independent player, doing your initial layout makes it so that you're less likely to get accidentally kind of vendor locked. I mean, I know for me, it's, I think, or at least I assume, right, that a lot of organizations, only end up vendor locked by accident. Like they don't intend to be using the feature set that is required to keep them in Amazon or wherever. So I think it's really good to have a little bit of an independent player there.
That's a real story. And then even that people doesn't know that we already locked in because the feature set is pretty comparable to use that because you don't need to run something new, and then there are just some low running paths, and then you just start it and you get use that kind of stuff. But in the end, after 6 months, we got locked in. So we never have a chance to go to the other Kubernetes cluster. Even if it's a Kubernetes, it's still open source community, but we cannot go there. So that's pretty weird. So that's kind of thing. And by the way, this is a cool, this KubeCon example. It's pretty much first inside the car and the interview. And pretty awesome. And the weather is really cold today.
It's a little grayer than I expected, but I thought it was gonna be a little sunnier. But we'll see what it looks like. But so we decided we kind of, I guess we launched a Twitter handle today for Cube by Example. And obviously there's some presence at KubeCon and all that jazz. So one of the people involved with the program, who actually has been on the Insider show to talk about the new forums and stuff. She came up with the idea, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm totally all in. Let's go, drive around and interview people." But we got to make sure it's got a good route, and we'll kind of do it along. And I think it's been pretty good so far.
Sure. And so I want to shout out once again as the KubeCon, if you have any chance to stop by to KubeCon this week. And then thanks for the Ford, and then they actually support us to make this happening. It's a nice car. And the Langdon, actually, you're gonna do talk a little bit about the Ford success story with some kind of panel discussion.
So we're doing
Wednesday.
We have a talk on Wednesday. It's like 4:30, I think. And we're actually going to do a panel discussion about how.
Don't miss that.
Right.
It's a pretty cool.
So how Ford is doing using Cube by Example with their developers to try to kind of bring them to doing development the cloud native way. And so when we heard about it, we were like, hey, that's a great story for for both KubeCon and for Cube by Example.
Exactly.
It's like,
so we actually running in the electric car, in a
right.
Ford, and then this is some kind of edgy technologies, and then the whole information gathering telemetry data into the cloud.
Well, I mean, I know a lot of organizations are pursuing containerization for in the car. Which is like, I don't. It's just crazy, like the amount of amount of software we're running in this car right now.
Exactly, and then it makes a driver and passenger a little bit more comfortable. More safe. Even if we keep talking when you're driving. So
you're doing a workshop today, though, right?
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for sharing that. So we have the OpenShift Commons, and then we hosting a Konveyor workshop. So not only showcase what Konveyor is, and then what is the roadmap, but also we give them people have some hands-on experience and how to start, what the conveyor looks like. So it's good, just 1 hour even. But after the workshop, if you can visit it, KubeCon example, or reach out to any Red Hatter, and then you can go to even if you have a chance to stop by KubeCon, anytime swing by Red Hat booth, we are more than happy to share the more details. But once again, today we're gonna start at 9, but the hands-on workshop is starting 10. It's a 1 hour, but should be fun because. But don't forget, bring your laptop.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you and so? Let's say you do miss it today. Is there an opportunity to kind of go and do the workshop on your own or something later on? Yeah,
that's a really good question. So the workshop is I'm gonna make it available, but so you can actually the all workshop content is available in a public Git repo. However, so if you ask any Red Hat sales folks, and then we are more than happy to support and provide the workshop environment for free.
Oh yeah.
And we're gonna go to your customer site, or we're gonna bring you into one of the Red Hat office, and then just spare with us like a half a day or full day. We are more than happy to address not only conveyor, but also we also have like a SRE track and a business track as well. It's not gonna hands-on though, but so business track, we're gonna talk a little bit more like the strategy, and then like planning, and how to go to your cloud, and not only hands-on stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think to be honest, right? I think a lot of developers don't kind of fully appreciate the importance of like essentially like a project portfolio or like when I was in consulting, one of the things we specialized in was actually doing, portfolio roadmaps, around modernization. In particular, it was like the early days of the cloud. And so we would, kind of come in and actually help them plan how they were going to get, all their existing applications and also try to recognize all the new applications they were building and how they were going to get them into the cloud. And, it gave me a real strong appreciation for like how hard that is, to really understand it and the value there. Because if everybody's kind of going all directions all at the same time, you never get anywhere, So I think that's actually a pretty valuable component. The other thing I was going to say about the workshop was like, I've been trying to stand up this data server called CCAN, and like it's so nice to have an expert kind of show you how to do something the first time. Where like I'm just trying to like fight through the docs, trying to figure out how to make it work. And like there's all that stuff you get from experience that you it's just impossible to document about like what's the right way to set it up, what are the tricks, when am I going to forget later or have to re-architect later, and I think it makes a big difference if you can have somebody who's kind of showing you the ropes, and then when you run into a problem you can kind of ask the question.
Totally agree with that. And so their workshop is most likely workshop is mainly focused on only developers or sometimes ops people, but so the thing is, maybe the decision maker, like some CTO level, or even the architect, they are really happy for like a next journey or next technology. However, the rest of them, like 80% your organization, they don't like the decision. Because we're gonna go to like some migration tool with this one, and then we're gonna go to like AKS or another Kubernetes cluster. However, the individual developer or individual SRE, we don't like that. That's the problem. So that's why secured by examples and then like a conveyor project, we're not gonna only focus on developer, but also ops people and then even decision maker. For helping and understanding what their next journey should be.
Well, you often feel like, is that you have like some architect level person, kind of making some decision, and then there's like a magic happens here, and then the developer gets handed it, right? And you're like, wait, what? So I think, kind of going back to Konveyor, it's like, hopefully that's providing some of that, magic happens here component, as well as it seems particularly well suited to kind of portfolio planning, right? I mean, the entire tool is about, doing that kind of movement.
That's 100% agree. So it's just showcase the variety of the approach, how to add modernization, just like a portfolio. So some part of that is handled by developer, and some part of them is by like a decision maker, and then the rest of them is by SRE or platform engineers.
Yeah.
And in the end, you can combine all needs and requirement, even potential issue. You can handle that by your cross teams. Yeah, that's the beauty of the Konveyor project.
Right.
To help them.
Yeah, totally. So what do you think, or what are you kind of most looking forward to in like let's say the next 6 months in any of the projects you're kind of involved with?
So that's a really good question. So also I most likely focus on some kind of more realistic practice. For example, I want to say I'm just like a ordinary Java guys, and then the problem is there are many Java applications around the world and then across industries, and then problem is everybody wants to go to cloud and Kubernetes or some stuff. And what is the best practice to integrate like some brand new technology? For example, I can deploy my application to cloud or Kubernetes, but I don't know how to integrate my application deployment or build strategy or practice with the existing like a CI/CD. Or we have a CI/CD like a Jenkins.
Right.
It's a 10 years old grown man. However, in the Kubernetes, maybe it's too old. So what is the new kind of stuff like a Tecton or Argo CD is a brand new stuff. So also I have some like old truck, and now I need to buy a new brand like an electric car by Ford.
Right.
And but I don't know how to drive.
Right.
Because all also we just try to figure it out how to open trunk.
Right.
In this morning, to be honest.
We've had a number of troubles. Like we couldn't figure out how to open the trunk. Couldn't figure out how to charge the car.
Yeah, it's just like a big iPad on the center panel, and we cannot find the button. Where is that?
Right.
But obviously it's somewhere at the right side, but there's no. Okay, that's the thing. So I'm gonna help and evangelize the not only developer but also like a platform engineers.
Yeah.
Bring their business services into cloud with integration with the the buzzword the GitOps, and then like a serverless and a service mesh, because some people say, oh, that's not my responsibility, it's more like for them, but it's not true, because we are working together as a teamwork, not by like an individual contributor.
Right.
Yeah, that's I'm really looking forward to evangelize like a serverless and a service mesh and GitOps stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, with of course Kubernetes, and then most likely not gonna try to just presentation. It's more like create more valuable content, like a demo and hands-on, and then like a sample code, which means that everyone just can replicate that if they want. Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. And then also, I'm so thankful because I got so many inspiration during the KubeCon. Even if some the booth area. So there are so many vendors and so many people actually showcase their new stuff.
Right.
Based on.
That's one of the things. I always gets me about conferences. Like it always gets me jazzed up, right? Because you're like, oh, hey, I'm like re-engaging kind of with the with the ecosystem, with the community, and it's always like a really positive experience.
Yeah, and then I just know, and then what is the trend is. So for example, the year ago in the KubeCon Los Angeles, and then I saw a lot of vendors actually try to showcase their multi-cloud platform, and of course migration tool from this Kubernetes and that Kubernetes.
Right.
And this is actually one of the capability Konveyor as well. So and then this is some kind of trend what people really want to showcase, which means that there are some market trend and the needs came out. So this is a really good opportunity to figure it out what technology really interesting by ecosystem, specifically KubeCon. That's one of the big reasons I always wanted to be attend the KubeCon.
Right.
Not only like an ambassador stuff, but also it's more like a interaction with people. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's funny that again the little conference I do, DevConf.us, we try to we actually offer attendee training because if it's your first conference or whatever, like what is the hallway track, and I think it's really important to like kind of, as you say, it's like that's half the value, right? Is like getting to see people you don't see very often, maybe getting to meet, some engineer who works on a thing that you care a lot about. And I think that's a huge part. I ran into Luke Hines, for example, just this morning, outside. So we were chit-chatting a bit about, what he's doing. But he was on the show a while back.
That was really awesome. And then, so I was there too. And then, thanks for having me, by the way. So, one of the impressive thing in the last the DevConf in the Boston area. So I saw the college student actually came out in the podium and they actually showcased their internal project, which is super awesome because whenever we just go to any conference, maybe it's not the young stuff.
Right, it's all the people who are really strong, right?
Yeah,
who've been
people
doing it
already
for a long
have
time.
some like maybe 10 years experience, and they say, oh, I'm super professional, something like that. But however, so whenever we inspire like some new technology, but we don't know actually like a college student feel that.
Right. It's one of the nice things about working at the university now, right? Is like I have all these students, and then we also we showcase some of the interns at that conference, but we get to see their excitement, their interest, and how they want to change the world, and it's really interesting, and it really does kind of, at least for me, like reincorporate me back into like try to give me back some of that early excitement about what can happen. At the same time, it's also funny. It's like how inexperienced they are, which you don't kind of realize, because at least for me, right? It's like I don't feel like I know anything, and then and then I meet some of these students, and I'm like, oh wow, all right, you've got a little ways to go.
Exactly. So it's totally different approach how they're looking at the technologies. And then they are more like, okay, maybe some colleges don't. I need to find a more high chance or opportunity to get new job based on their technology, and so they don't believe the market like a report, things like that. So this is brand new, and then I really like that. So you should keep doing this stuff in the DevConf. And thank God.
I really like doing it. It's a lot of fun.
The Boston University professor, which is a really good position to bring this one, and I'm so thankful.
We had the idea a few years ago, and it's been really great. I think it's worked out really well. It's always a lot of fun to do it, and the students are super excited. Which is cool.
And then so the Monday actually there are KubeCon for kids.
I know. I miss. They used to do it in front of Red Hat Summit, and I really miss it. It was really cool.
I didn't even know that. When I arrived there, and I just find out, there are some small workshop for the kids, and then like the Pi thing, like a Raspberry Pi, and then they actually developed some kind of the Minecraft.
Did they do Minecraft modding again?
So I have a 10 years boy, my son, and he really into that. So I brought
my kids to one in front of Red Hat Summit. It's really cool. Did you actually get into it, or did you just sub and note?
I arrived there, it's already end, but I saw that there are some happening there, but I didn't know that.
Well, what I was super impressed by, I assume it's still true, but the Mozilla actually writes a lot of the stuff that they deliver at that. Like that stuff's all actually available, and it's really good, and really understandable and all that stuff. And I really like the whole event, as well as the fact that Mozilla actually kind of puts a lot of investment into it too. But that's a great
really cool. And then we're gonna maybe figure out how do we make it available or valuable for KubeCon examples stuff as well for the kid, because there are potential super awesome developer in the 10 years.
Exactly. And it's hard to make this stuff accessible. I mean, I think that's one of the things that I find a little difficult. Is we were joking about this earlier, is like, I'm not that into hardware, but it's a lot easier, I think, for a kid to engage with like a Raspberry Pi or whatever than it is to build a Kubernetes cluster, right? It's a lot more real feeling.
And the kids is so creative. So even though we don't even think about it, and then they're going to use this platform or technology with so much different ways.
Well, and it's also so natural for them, right?
Exactly,
it's like,
yeah.
you know, all us old people who didn't grow up,
Yeah.
you know, directly in, you know,
Yeah.
in computers. You know,
Because we already narrow some
Right,
eyes. Okay, we're gonna just use this kind of stuff or the kind of thing.
Yeah,
but it turns out, wow, you just so creative thing.
right, because they'll put things all together wrong, you know, and we end up with really cool things,
Yeah.
which it wouldn't even occur to us to put together.
Yeah, and of course, we're gonna bring more some kind of the gaming stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the attractive thing for kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like a
Yeah,
Roblox or Minecraft.
Yeah.
It's a good motivation.
Yeah, I think one of the
bring
Mozilla ones is
Yeah.
like a JavaScript thing
Yeah.
where it's like a platformer, and
Yep.
the way you have to play the game is by
Yep.
writing JavaScript to give you the next like platform to
Yeah.
jump onto.
Yeah.
It's really pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. So my son actually, once again, he actually never ever asked me about the program language, but just a couple of months ago, and in summer vacation, he actually asked him about JavaScript.
Oh, really?
So how do you know that words,
Right,
JavaScript?
right.
And then, I just know that how to customize the Roblox map.
Oh,
It's a
yeah,
bit of
yeah.
JavaScript.
Right,
Okay. Oh, that's the thing.
Right.
Okay, that's a really good approach to learn new technology.
Right, right. Well, it's funny because that's in some ways a lot of people say it's the same motivation as in open source.
Yeah.
Is like you get into open source because you want to scratch your own itch, right? It's like
Yep.
something about the computer is making
Yeah.
you crazy,
Yeah.
so you go fix it, right?
Yeah, that's exactly reminds me. It's because when I just started like my son's age, like a 10 years boy, when I was there, so I just started like computer stuff for fun. Yeah, not some kind of purpose.
Right.
Yeah. So and then at a time I'm so enjoyed spending my time to make some programming stuff.
Right. Right.
All right, so I'm here, and then hopefully you got a next. Who is the next speaker?
Oh yeah. So next up, we're going to talk to Liz Rice. And so that'll be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks so much for coming by.
Sure, and
yeah.
thanks for having me. And then talk to you soon.
Yeah.
See you guys.